Good morning, Florida Panther fans. So, for those of you who come on the live streams, you already know that I have to lift weights every time the Panthers give up a goal. And the last 5 minutes of the game, I was sitting there going, I know they're going to get another one. I know they're going to make me get off this couch. And with about a minute left, whatever it was, I said, you know what? They're going to score so late that I'm going to be saying 2 points while I'm lifting the weights. And I have to go back and rewatch the replay because apparently I lost my shit when they scored with 1.9 seconds left on the stream.
When did you make that deal?
And I made it before Montour and Ekblad got hurt. I was just trying to add something fun to the stream. And then within 10 minutes, Montour was gone, Ekblad was gone, and here I am. I'm sore, bro.
Wait till we get creamed like 7-8-1 or something.
I know. So all right. So the Panthers win 4-3, not 4-2, 4-3.
Gutsy win.
Gutsy win, yeah. And all right. So Stu's got a few things to say first before we really jump into the game. So I'll hand the mic to him.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Panther fans, fellow Panther fans. This is Flying Fluffy Hockey, the #1 Panther fan podcast in the world. I want to address a couple of things. So the game was on TNT, which home opener, Eric talked about that yesterday. Crying shame that we didn't get our guys, the best play-by-play and color analyst duo on TV, Randy and Goldie. Bummer. But anyway, so I'm watching that broadcast, and these guys were just so biased. And I want to call out this one guy, Paul Bissonnette, who played a couple of hundred games in the league. He scored 7 goals, and I don't even know how this guy owns his job. They call him Biz Nasty. And he says that Montour is the Panthers' best defenseman. Hello, watch some more Panther games and take a look at number 42, Gustav Forsling, okay, who, in my opinion, is a better defenseman than Aaron Ekblad. Okay, that being said, then you got Rick Tocchet, former Flyer. Bissonnette says that the Panthers are not a lock to make the playoffs. That really irked me. Okay, so that's that.
Yes.
I love the NHL Network, but, watching that game, it was all about the Flyers last night. So that's my rant. And then we got this guy, Ryan Whitney. Okay, now Ryan Whitney put out a tweet that Eric and I both responded to. But here's the tweet.
Yeah.
Real dig, real sarcastic. Trading Uyghur looking even more foolish at this point. Has Bill Zito ruined the Panthers? ? Yeah. He better hope he can get someone to take Bobrovsky. Well, Ryan Whitney,
right.
You need to watch the video where Eric and I broke down the trade and the reason for the trade, the cap space, the fact that Huberdeau was 29 and he was going to be looking to get paid like $11 million paid for an 8-year contract, which we couldn't afford to do. And we weren't going to do, and get stuck with another 38-year-old player,
right,
making $11 million a year. And Mackenzie Weegar was going to look for big money, which he ended up getting $7 million from Calgary. And we didn't have the caps.
No. Dude, we weren't going to be able to sign both.
Before you make public comments like that, do your homework, okay? So I'm challenging you. Eric's challenging you. Come on our podcast, man. We'll debate Panther hockey. Okay.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Thank you. If any of you guys, I know there was someone else on Twitter that posted a comment, but if any of you guys saw what I saw last night as far as the coverage of this team and the disrespect that we always get, whether it be from the national TV broadcasters or the referee or whatever, post your comments. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Now that I got that off my chest, what a game. Now,
oh man,
Eric was not very confident on this game. On the other hand, I was staying, okay, let's see what happens.
Right.
Granted, we were without Montour and Ekblad, but we still had Forsling.
Right.
Mahura has been playing decent.
Yeah.
And, they called up Carlson and Kerstead, who I
Yeah.
thought, during the game, Eric and I were tweeting, texting, excuse me.
Right.
And I said, we're not playing bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think we played bad. I
No.
think the team realized that we didn't have our big, our top two
Yeah.
offensive scoring defensemen out there, that basically this was going to be a game of defense,
Right.
helping Bobrovsky, and scoring goals.
Right.
And thank God for Carter Verhaeghe. He was on last night.
Yep. Yep.
Eric, you said it, man possessed. Scored a couple of quick goals.
Yeah.
I had a bad feeling that Philly was not going to just, lay down and get blown
No.
out.
Not a Torts coach team. He's got them. He's got them. Every man on that team is afraid to have a bad shift, or they're going to get shipped out. You could see it. They didn't play a great first period, but second period, Philadelphia came out and definitely outplayed us in that period. And they're not. And this speaks to, some people have said we have a cupcake schedule at the beginning of the season. I don't usually count how a team looked last year versus how they're going to look this year and put it in the bank, because there's this always different stuff going on. Playing Philadelphia, Ottawa, Buffalo, there is no cupcake.
There is no cupcake schedule. Any team can beat any team any night. And just look, the Flyers beat Tampa the night before.
Yeah, yeah.
The good thing for us is we had the second string goalie who hasn't won a game yet in the league. So
yeah, he played pretty well though. I mean, he made a few nice saves that both goaltenders definitely played well.
We should have had six. We should have had it. We should listen. Reinhardt open net missed. Reinhardt another shot missed.
Right.
Verhaeghe in the crease made us great save.
Yeah.
Kachuk on a breakaway missed. Barkov missed. We should have had 4 more goals.
Yeah,
you gotta put those away, Chucky, man. You gotta go 5, make the deke and go 5-hole on the guy.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, we squeaked out 2 points. Really happy about that. I'm happy the way that the guys stepped up.
Right.
I thought Kerstead had a good game.
Yeah.
I thought Carlson had a good game. What I mean good, they didn't make big mistakes.
Right.
But there is one guy that did. And I have to just point it out again.
I now bring you to the Mark Stahl section of the show.
I zero in on him every game. And if you guys are not seeing what I'm seeing, please, next game, just zero in and see how slow Eric Stahl is, how he gets beat in the corners, how he gets beat with the puck battles. Let's see what his plus or minus was last night, guys, because I think it was -2 or -3. Again, the goals are being scored when he's on the ice. That's all I'll say. Other than that, I don't think he played horrible.
Right.
He's just getting beat. He's pulling a Keith Yandel, man. He's just, he's too slow.
The thing with Stahl, it's I said it in the recap last night. Stahl's issues, Yandel, Weegar, Matheson, and I see it in the comments, I see it on the stream, I see it on Twitter. There's a third of the people that are agreeing with you. A third of the people think he looks just fine. And the third of the people that are in my position kind of going, well, he's not that bad. He's not that good. He's not that. So, and his age kind of, he's not some young guy that we're developing that he's going to get better, etc. So I don't know what we do there. I mean, to me, if with Ekblad out, if I was coach, I'd leave Carlson and Kierstead in and let Stahl be the scratch. Maurice ain't never going to do that. If Maurice does that, I will do the next recap ball.
No, that didn't happen.
Because he's just never going to do that.
No, we're stuck with Mark Stahl. Okay. Right. I've resigned myself to the fact that he's going to be playing, but I cringe every time he's on the ice.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I cringe every time the opposition has the puck in our end, or when the opposition is moving the puck into our end.
Right.
I call it like I see it.
I hear what you're
saying.
But
I will say for the most part, I know I should say for the most part, almost all part, I'm really positive about how they played last night. I thought Barkov picked up his game. He looked a lot better. I don't think, I watched your recap about the chemistry and, whatever's happening or not happening between Barkov and Reinhardt. I agree. They should definitely, move the pieces around and
they can't complete a pass.
Give it a shot.
Yeah,
I really think the Lundell Reinhardt Luster-Raiden combo, moving White up to the front line would be a better chemistry fit. That's just so we're in agreement on that. Bobrovsky,
no,
thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
I mean, he lets in his soft goals. That happens.
That happens.
But he comes up with the saves when we need it. In the third period,
he made that one toe save on, I forget who the two players were, but it was just like the Kachuk to Bennett pass the other night.
Yeah.
And he got it with his toe and
before the flyer player got it. That was a tie game right there. He saved it. Yep. Fantastic. So
now Kirsten, look, I want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to kill me, and I'm not sitting here saying Matt Kirsten is a top pair defenseman, but he didn't do anything last night to make me say get him off with a top pair while Ekblad's out either. If he can continue to play well enough up top, that allows you to put Montour at the second pair and not have it be so top heavy with Montour and Forsling, and give you more leeway there. So I hope that's what's going to happen when Montour's supposed to be back Friday.
And I want to see, okay. So obviously that meant Forsling moving to the right side.
Yeah.
He played the right side.
We had one right-handed defenseman.
Did he play the right side last night? I'm not sure. Anyway, Kjærstad played good. I think he's playing with a lot more confidence than he did last year. He looks a lot
faster.
I happen to think, players in a position like that, a young guy just starting out, they kind of feel like they got the guillotine hanging over their head. Like if they fuck up, they're going to be pulled out or sent down. And it's kind of sort of what happened to him. So I didn't see that last night. Same thing with Carlson. So to me, the natural order of things, again, to balance out the defense would be Kjærstad and Forsling and Carlson and Montour. Carlson and Montour. Say that again 10 times.
I gotta disagree with you, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not because of any other reason than I don't want Stahl and Gudas at the same time.
So you're thinking Stahl and Montour?
I think Stahl and Montour, and then Carlson and Gudas. No, I like Lucas Carlson, but I think Stahl and Gudas on the ice at the same time. If teams matched up their speed against us, that's going to get ugly quick. It's tough. Personally, if I really had my way, it would be Kjærstad with Forsling, Carlson with Montour, and who am I leaving out? Mahura, thank you. Mahura with Gudas and Stahl on, you know what I mean? Right.
Okay.
Right. But if like I said, if coach does that, I'm a millionaire. You know what I mean? If this the one thing I will say, and I know you want to comment on this. When Ekblad first went out, that the rest of that game, he put Stahl up top with Forsling. And yesterday, when he could have just put Stahl up top with Forsling and put Kjærstad in the bottom pair, he really showed his cards a little bit with putting Kjærstad up top and Stahl in the bottom pair. So maybe he's seeing a little bit of what we're seeing. I would still be surprised to see him take him off the ice because he is on the PK, and that's one thing he is good for, because you're not chasing guys around up and down the ice for the most part when you're on the PK. You're just boxing guys out in the front. I don't know.
I forgot all about Mahura, and
yeah.
Hats off to the kid.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
first goal. What a
Yep.
great. I mean, the goalie should have
Yeah.
had the shot, but hey,
Yeah.
he
Yeah. You got
scored his
to,
first goal. Happy for him. Yeah, that kid's again.
right.
That kid might be the. I'm not gonna say as good as. I'm just making an
I've already
analogy.
seen people saying it on Twitter.
I'm making the analogy that Zito has maybe found another Forsling.
Right.
Okay,
Well, and it's
maybe not as
interesting
good
because,
as, maybe not as good as,
right.
but
Never know.
a kid that nobody really, I never heard of him. You never heard of him. Nobody here has heard of him.
It's the
This
warm
kid, this
weather.
kid has just stepped in under heavy pressure and has just played good hockey. Solid.
It's the warm weather. Think about this. Think about this. Matthew Tkachuk could have gone anywhere and done anything he wanted, right? But he said, I want to go down there with those guys and go fishing and wear flip-flops. So imagine how it is for a guy like Mahura that says, who picked me up? Where am I? Oh,
But
sweet,
dude,
right?
he was in Anaheim, so no big
Right,
whoop. It's not
right,
like he
right,
came
right.
from Winnipeg or Calgary, Edmonton, Buffalo, you know.
Yeah, but it's
But
just the culture, the difference in the quality of the team. I mean, when you're in Anaheim, you're like, if they trade me to Toronto, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I want to play with a winning team. But
come on,
when
you're
you
a
just get
22, 3, 4, 5-year-old kid,
right and you
and
get
you
picked up
and
by the
you're playing
Panthers,
in South Florida. Come on,
right,
that's
right,
a
right,
cushy gig.
right,
Anyway,
right.
so again, we forgot about Mahara. So
Yeah,
Carlson's going to be scratched,
probably.
unfortunately, because Maurice ain't scratching Stahl.
No, I know. I know it, you know
Although
it.
I'd like to see that,
Yeah, we both
but
would.
that ain't happening.
No, if
We
he's gonna make
uh,
any move, just please, for our sanity's sake, will you get Sam Reinhart off of that top line? We already
yeah,
saw enough last year, and this year he don't belong up there. He's a really good. He can dominate on a third line, but when you put him up top, it ain't just not happening for him. Him
yeah,
and
I'm
Barkov.
telling
I mean,
you,
and it doesn't matter who makes the pass; they can't complete a pass. It's bad. It's
yeah,
bad. And if Q was coach or Brunette was coach, I'm not saying I want to go back, but they like Q gave Reinhardt and Barkov 2 periods or 2 games in 1 period. And then he put Reinhardt with Lundell and never looked back.
yeah.
Now,
Lusterrain and Lundell and Reinhardt would be a good line, and I like the
right.
way Colin White's playing,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I would like to see that experiment. That's all.
Yeah.
Look at
Yep.
Tortorelli. They talked about him shifting lines around. Things
Right.
are not working. You move things around. Quenville always did that.
Right. Right. Right.
So give it a
But
shot. Coach
from
Maurice, if you're
right.
watching this podcast here, listen to us.
Stu
We
almost
know
said we
Pan,
know more than you.
we know Panther hockey.
Right. No,
Listen,
we know.
I am not right all the time, and I don't want to come off conceited or braggadocious, but I'm right most of the time.
It does turn out that
Okay.
way.
I've been
Right.
around hockey since 1965. I've been on the inner workings of 2 teams.
Right.
Okay. I just,
But you know what you know. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what
yeah,
you
I mean,
know.
I look at the game of hockey like chess,
Right.
and you got to move your pieces around to win the game.
Right.
That's all.
Yep.
So
That's it.
good win.
Good win.
Disappointed that they didn't make more fanfare out of raising the banners, but like you said in your recap, there's a two ways of looking at it,
Right.
because
Right. Right.
I've been the one that said the President's Trophy was all great
Right.
if we had won the cup.
Yeah. Right.
The way we got blasted out of the playoffs, I would just do what they did. Just put it up there and just play the game, because
Yep.
it means nothing. The only banner that means anything is the Stanley Cup champion banner. And
Right.
then, you get your parade and you make a big hour-long, just being
Yeah.
facetious there. You make a
Right.
big
Right.
deal about it on opening night.
Right.
And
Right.
one day, God willing, we'll be there to see that banner raised.
Yep.
But for these guys to be coming out, these national commentators, pundits, whatever you want to call it. I mean, John Butchergrass, of all people, who predicted the Panthers were going to win the cup last year,
Right.
he doesn't think we're making the playoffs.
Come on, man.
So,
I mean,
my answer to you guys,
that would have us worse than who? Ottawa? Come on. Come on. And based on what, look, if you look at it, if you look at it, I mean, with Ekblad being healthy, right? When you look at the team when it's healthy, we lost Uyghur and Marchman because Huberto and Kachuk cross each other out. If you want to talk about productions, different players, but if you want to talk about points, they completely cancel each other out. We lost Uyghur and we lost Marchman.
Mammon.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Mammon didn't play a lot of minutes. I'm talking about guys that were mostly in the lineup who were really big parts.
Producers, okay.
Lustenreinen is going to fill that. Lustenreinen's going to get the same 18 goals that Mason Marchman got. He may not be as gritty, but he's production-wise, we're going to get the same out of him, I believe. So then you're down to we lost Uyghur. And you don't go from the President's Trophy to out of the playoffs because you lost one defenseman. Come on. I mean, Tampa rebuilds its freaking third line every offseason. You don't see anybody saying they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they've won cups.
And you got to mention a player that cost us at least 2 games, and probably the game that turned the Tampa series around.
Right. Oh yeah. No way.
Okay,
around that.
3.8.
Right. Yeah, good thing I wasn't lifting weights then.
If Reinhart gets moved down to the third line and plays with Lusterranen and Lundell, watch what that line does.
Yeah.
Now, Lusterranen is no Marchment.
Right.
Just not physical like Marchment was.
Right.
But the kid's got hockey IQ.
Yeah.
We always talk about how important hockey IQ is. And he seems to have really good chemistry with Lundell. I think Lundell is just missing Reinhart.
I agree with you. I think
White, it's good play. Chemistry, and you play with guys, and I just want to see Reinhart and Lundell because those two kids clicked really well.
Right. And it was such a surprise. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention, you can't say anything about what a fantastic play. Kachuk to Bennett, like on the tape pass to Belslers, and he deeks, goes high backhand and scores his first goal.
Yeah,
what a beauty! But
that line,
they showed the replay a couple of times, and they made such a big deal about Bennett, but they forgot that Kachuk started that play.
Yeah,
with a great pass to Bennett to get him going. So that line's going good.
No, that line is going.
I think
good.
they got 5 points last night.
Yeah. No, that line is it's really the top line right now. And look, I had some people in the comments to the last video say that this channel is too hard on Barkov. Maybe we are. Maybe I am, but I expect more. When Jonathan Huberdeau was here, let's put it this way. For years, I said if Huberdeau if Huberdeau ever played aggressively and picked up his game, he was the better player. And I think last year, points wise, at least offensively, Huberdeau proved that he's the better player. Now Barkov is the better two-way player, and I grasped the point that that's his game is two-way, and there's just one, and I can get past he's not the raw guy and all of that. That's not really my thing with Barkov at this point. It's just I'm just wondering why it's so hard to find somebody on the right side that he clicks with. And I didn't play hockey. I don't know if it's something as simple as he's just looking more for the left winger than the right winger. I don't know what it is, but it's been a consistent pattern with the exception of Huberdeau and Duclair Sometimes there's some nights when Barkov and Duclair don't have the chemistry and the passes are off and Duke is missing the shots. So I'm not necessarily saying Barkov is doing something wrong, but there's something there. It's been a thing for too long now. There's some reason. And that's why I was so excited when I saw Heponiemi play so well with him in the preseason. Like, okay, we're good. This looks like it could be good.
He needs
So
a fin.
right. Yeah.
He needs
It
a
might,
fin from his hometown.
it might, well, I mean, he meshed with Huberto, so we can't say for sure that's what it is, but
Heponiemi is what I'm getting at.
yeah, I know. But yeah, look, we're not, we're raw. Stu and I are raw about a lot of things, but when we see a player not meeting their full potential, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
think
listen,
Stu and I we see that there's more that Barkov could get out of himself. And I know he's probably the hardest working guy, and I'm not criticizing him for that way. It's just we feel he could take his game to another level. And if you look at the numbers, okay, and you see what some of the other players in the upper echelon, right, are doing, he's either at the bottom of that tier or just at the top of the next tier. And I think for the fanfare that he's gotten and for the defense from other people that he's gotten, that I think, and I think Stu agrees with me, that he has another level to his game in him. Like Huberto showed us last year, he has another level in his game, but something had to click inside of him to get him to do that. I feel Barkov has another level in his game. And it's just I'm a coach by nature. So I'm gonna bitch about somebody until I think they're meeting their full potential. And I don't think he's meeting it yet. That's my 2 cents.
if you go back to the beginning of the video, I said Barkov played a lot better.
Right.
And you're right. We're not here to bash anybody. We just call it as we see it. And you're right. My big thing with Barkov, I wish he had more fire in the belly and demonstrated that on the ice. That's not him. That's
Right.
not his makeup.
Right.
Like a Kachuk.
Right.
I wish Matthew Kachuk could give Barkov a
Yeah.
blood transfusion and get some of that Kachuk feistiness,
Yeah.
grittiness, whatever you want to call what he has. A Hornquist. Let him get a little bit of blood from Kachuk.
Right.
Reinhardt, excuse me, Hornquist and Lombard. Let's
Right.
put a cocktail together and shoot it in
Yeah.
Barkov's veins. Can you imagine a Sasha Barkov
Right.
like as the Hulk?
Right. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, it's nothing bad about Barkov at all. It's just you hit the nail on the head. And I'm not, well, it's not that we're criticizing him for not having that fire. It's more of like, imagine if he did. Can you imagine Barkov with his skill set and his size if he had the fire of like Kachuk? And so when we see that in his skill set, it's like, man, what he could be. But and then you start thinking, well, I guess it's not in him to be that way, and that's fine. It doesn't hurt him, but we just envision what he could be. I mean, if you like Stu said, if you put Kachuk's heart inside of Barkov, you're gonna have the best player in the league, and nobody would argue. It would be no argument. He's got that much talent in him, and I don't know. I just wanted to address that because people, we get new people every year and they wonder why we're complaining about Barkov. We're not, we're a homer channel, but we don't homer where we just close our eyes to everything we see. We have no problem going out on the limb and being the first people to say, I think we might be seeing this. And then usually by the end of the season, like Stu says, 80-90% of the time, we're like, yeah, we've been talking about that all year. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Listen,
That's
we love Barkov. I
Yeah.
love Barkov.
Yeah.
I think he's probably one of the top. I'll be conservative and say 5. I was going to say top 3.
I was going to say 10. I was going to
Yeah,
say 10.
but as far as talent, ability,
Yeah.
hockey, I mean, he's right up
Right.
there with all the great players. He's a
Right.
superstar. I
Sure.
just, like you said, we just want more out of him,
Yeah.
especially the fact that he's the captain.
Right.
And
Right.
again, the captain, the C, comes with a lot of responsibility. And that's why will keep repeating what I said was I wonder what kind of player he would be if he didn't have the
Right.
responsibility of wearing that big C on his jersey.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
Right.
think he's just got the makeup to be the captain. Not knocking him, okay?
Right.
Again, I want to go on record and
Yeah. I know.
say,
And who is it in
Barkov,
Colorado
yeah,
that's not the captain? Um, McKinnon, right? He's not the captain, but he's the number one center. He's who you would consider basically to be their best player. I made the mistake last year. I didn't even realize it. I tweeted it out. And then somebody says McKinnon's not the captain. I'm like, he's not. So, you think about these guys, the best player on the ice should naturally be the captain, but that's not always the case. So I guess that's the last thing is just because we say he shouldn't be captain, it's not a knock on his talent. It's just not everybody's cut out. That's not in everybody's makeup. There's nothing
and
wrong with it.
let me give you a couple of examples of guys that were captains that gave up the captaincy. And I know from personal experience, Clark Gillies was once the captain of the Islanders,
Right.
and he gave it up, and Denny Potvin became the captain, and
There you
there we
go.
go. Four
Right.
Stanley Cups, which,
4 cups.
could have been 6 Stanley Cups. And then the other example is Dustin Brown with LA.
Right.
I don't know if they took it away from him or he gave it up, but Kopitar became the captain. And
Right.
Dustin
Right.
Brown just, again, let Barkov play hockey
Right.
and not have extra pressure. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all.
That's it.
We won't keep
Yeah.
harping on. We won't keep harping
No.
on that issue.
No,
So
it's
what
just
do we got?
we get new people every year. So I have to explain that every year. I've been doing this for 7 years now, and every year people have to figure out what it is that I'm kind of saying about Barkov. So, all right.
Okay. So now
We got,
we move on to Tampa. All right,
yeah, we got,
listen, we were supposed to beat Philly. Okay. They were
right.
3-0, great,
Yeah.
whatever, but
Right.
they're
Right.
still
Right.
Philly.
Right. Yeah.
Now we play our arch enemy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a total, and it's in Tampa.
It is. We came home for one game.
Is it? Yeah.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay. I think it's in Tampa. If
I
I'm
think you
wrong, I
might be right.
apologize. I looked at the schedule. But the point is, no matter who we play,
No.
let me take that back.
It's a home game. It's a home
Oh,
game.
it's a home game.
It's a home
Okay,
game. Yeah.
great. All right, so that's good. But when we play Tampa, it's war, and it's going to
Yeah.
be a whole different ball game. Tampa
Right.
knows. I mean, John Cooper, he's got our number.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a total different situation tomorrow.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, as optimistic as I want to be, I'm worried.
I'm just going to keep predicting that we're going to lose because every time
Yeah.
we win. So I didn't want that to be the thing, but that's twice now. So I guess I'm just going to have to stick with it this year. For those of you who are not going to the game, it's an ESPN Plus game, by the way. So
I always worry with Tampa. Obviously, Vasilevsky,
yeah.
we have a hard time beating him. But then again, we've had times where we've shellacked them. So
yeah.
Again,
Right.
it's just going to
feast or
come down
famine.
to scoring, finding ways to score on him. There are ways to score on him.
Well,
and then the defense
right.
having a solid game. The forwards coming back to cover their men, which
Right.
we let in a couple of goals last night. Same thing. Forwards not coming back, and
Yep.
especially covering men, in front of the net. And then, I think Bob goes again. I don't see.
Yeah, I think we'll see Spencer Saturday. It's an afternoon game. I think that's where
So
that'll be three for Bob, and then you throw one for Spencer. That would be my guess. Plus, when we play the Islanders on Sunday, they play Tampa on Saturday. So I think it's we're good to go. I would be surprised if we didn't see Spencer on Sunday afternoon.
So I'm not making any predictions as far as the score goes, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But listen, we got 10 games, okay? Because Ekblad's going to be out at least, and I say at least 10 games. So if we can come out 7-3,
About that.
and I don't want 6-4 or 5-5. We come out 7-3 and
Right.
survive this, because quite frankly, I am just thinking, and I said it the other day, there's no reason to rush Ekblad back. It's
Right.
too early in the season.
Right.
Just don't want him to hurt himself again. Just remember when they brought him back from that concussion too soon.
But look, something is going to happen, because Zito said yesterday that Duclair is on pace for either December or January coming back, and he cannot come back until somebody that makes 3 million or more gets sent away, and that's Hornquist, Bennett, Iggy, and that's about it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell we're going to do, but he can't come back until something happens. That's it's there's no emergency 3 million over the cap. Like, there's the emergency call up. If he's ready to go and we add him to the active roster,
yeah, we got problems. Let's address it late.
I just was addressing it because
further on down the road. I'd like to say, I hope Duclair has a 110% recovery and that we don't rush him back. But man, I can't even imagine this team without Hornquist.
I know. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
I mean, what we didn't talk about?
What's that?
A 5-forward power play.
Oh, did he put it out?
Which, in my opinion, looked pretty good. Yeah. We had the 5. For the most part.
That's right.
The second unit had Forsling up there. But the top unit was
they put Barkov out there running it.
Was Barkov, Bennett, Kachuk, Hornquist, and Reinhart.
And Reinhart, yeah.
And they I'd like to see more shots, but Hornquist was, doing his thing in front.
All I'm going to say is this. They're really, really moving the puck a lot faster on the power play. And Jonathan Huberdeau isn't there to get the pass. And remember, he would take a skate, waiting for something to open up. That ain't happening anymore. They're moving the puck. It's boom, boom, boom. It's not quite as good or quick as Tampa, but I think they'll get there if they can keep some of the guys healthy and build chemistry. I think they'll get there. So, all right. That'll do it for us today, guys. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate everybody's coming out for the live streams. The super chats have been incredibly off the charts. Kyle and I are ridiculously grateful for that. And now Friday night is an ESPN Plus game. So this is going to be an experiment, because I have to install ESPN Plus to the TV and then stream the game. And then I'm going to be I'm going to be streaming the game in and live streaming out. I hope technically that my internet can handle that. I'll find out. And then, so if you join the stream and something happens, I'll have to figure something else out. But, for everybody who would normally watch, we don't have Randy and Goldie until Sunday afternoon at 5. It's an ESPN Plus game. I just can't believe the first two home games, not just the first one, but the second one.
And I hope we don't have that female play-by-play. Nothing against females calling play-by-play. It's just the one that they have is just her voice is just great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of criticism that way. We'll just put it that way.
Anyway, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Put out if you like the content, just hit the like button. Comments, guys, we love comments. And
Oh, and
I don't take any, listen, I know there's been a couple of digs at me calling me whiny. And listen, you guys, as long as you're respectful, I can accept criticism. Again, I'm not perfect. And again, I don't want to come off as whiny or being on a rant. I'm just very passionate about this team.
that's it.
Always have, always will. That I'm not changing.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. Yep.
So we
Yeah.
can agree to disagree.
Right. We are who we are. We're grumpy old men. It is what it is. All right, guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. All right. Yeah.